Just 15-pound felt satisfies the code, so that's what I'll be using today. Really, I prefer this as a product to wrap the house, but modern house wraps work well as well. What you would need to do is to make sure that everything that we apply to the side of the house shingles. So the code will call for our first piece of house wrap or paper to shingle down over the top of this flashing a minimum of 2 inches. So we'll start at that point. Again, just using some common staples to get it in place. The importance of this paper, anything that gets through a single width of brick, any water, any moisture, will now hit this and travel down to the flashing and exit at the weep holes. So this step certainly should never be passed over. We'll continue on up. The model building codes will also call for when one roll runs out and you start with a new roll to have at least a 6-inch lap when you begin a new roll. Okay. The verbiage in the codes all say in some way or another that before you ever lay a brick, the backup must be watertight, not airtight. Very important. This allows for breathing, and so do the modern house wraps. Many times nowadays we build homes too tight. Perhaps you've heard of sick buildings. So we don't want something that stops the flow of air but does not allow water at the same time to get into the house. So at each lap, obviously, this breathes well and functions well. We found a nice location to try to demonstrate with a house under construction some of the details that you saw earlier presented in the studio. What I'd like you to remember from that presentation was what I said about water penetration with a single width of brickwork, that no matter who the bricklayer is, the best bricklayer, me of course, on the best weather day, the best mortar, best products, everything's perfect, some water will no doubt get through a single width of brickwork. That being the case, before you ever start the brick job, notice how this side of the house is well wrapped with a house wrap, with each successive layer lapping over a bit the one below it. Also down here at the bottom of the wall, the house wrap comes all the way down and overlaps the flashing that we have here at the base. Also the flashing, one roll ran out, another began, it laps nicely. So keep this in mind. This is what the house should look like. If you can train a water hose on a house before you lay the brick and get water inside, guess what's going to happen after you lay the brick? Same thing. It should be watertight before you start. This is a nice example of that.